The preseason is over and the Bengals end it with a win. Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien of AllBengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Welcome into CBT, where the Bengals beat the Rams 16-7, and they finished 1-2 in the preseason for a second straight year. At least they did last year. I don't remember about 2020. Well, there was no preseason in 2020, so there you go. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell here on CBT, and let's dive into major takeaways from tonight. And oddly enough, it's going to be about who didn't play more so than who did play, at least at the top of this video, because we found out that Cordell Volson is LG1 all day long. And if you watched our pregame report, I talked about it. I didn't want to see much of Cordell Volson tonight, and we didn't see any of him. Well, we did. He was on the sidelines. He dressed just in case, but it was mostly in case of emergency. Now, Zac Taylor did not crown Cordell Volson as starting left guard, but it is very clear that he's going to be the starting left guard for the Bengals in 2 weeks when they play the Pittsburgh Steelers on September 11th right here at Paycor Stadium. And it's not a shock. Look, he's been better than Jackson Carman. In fact, Jackson Carman struggled tonight, and that was another big takeaway. Zac Taylor after the game saying that they wanted to give Jackson a chance to show what he could do. Well, he got called for a holding penalty. He gave up at least one sack. He struggled at times in the run game. Just doesn't look consistent enough to be an every week contributor, or certainly every week starter on the offensive line at this stage. And I'm being nice about it when I say that. But let's focus on the positives here, because Cordell Volson got praise from Zac Taylor, because I asked him, I was like, well, you went back and you watched those two tapes from the joint practices with the Rams. What did you see from Volson? And he said consistency. He said, obviously, he really cares. He's trying to get better each and every day. And just all of these different things that leads me to believe that no-brainer, it is going to be Cordell Volson lining up at left guard week one for your Cincinnati Bengals. The other guy that didn't play tonight, Dax Hill. And I just talked to him in the locker room. And, look, he got the starter treatment, which isn't shocking. I thought he flashed enough this preseason. Fast, athletic, can, jump high, all these things. But the thing that I think he's impressed this coaching staff with the most is he's been able to pick up the playbook so he can play fast. So all those physical attributes do shine through. And we've seen it in the first two preseason games. We've seen it in training camp. So he didn't suit up tonight. The Bengals gave him the starter treatment. He did go through a pregame workout right behind me around the 10, 20-yard line right here with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Jesse Bates, all of these different guys. Speaking of that, Jesse Bates going to be a full participant in practice this week, according to head coach Zac Taylor. All right, well, that's enough of the outside stuff. Let's talk specifically about tonight's game, because I thought both quarterbacks played well. Brandon Allen played well in his 4 drives. I thought Jake Browning played well in the rest of the game, essentially one drive in the first half and then the rest of the second half. Both guys completing, let's see if I can do this well enough. Jake Browning was 19 of 24. For 173 yards and a touchdown. And I think Brandon Allen was, 11 of 15. It was just over 70% for 130 yards. And both guys played well. Brandon Allen hit Stanley Morgan Jr. on a 32-yarder. In the first quarter, second quarter, was able to find none other than Kendrick Pryor for a 39-yard gain. And that's the thing. Kendrick Pryor continues to show up, continues to be consistent and make plays. And that's something that we've seen throughout the preseason. Now, the Bengals, they are going to have some decisions to make. I do think that we've settled the punt returner debate, if there was a debate or battle, as Kwame Lassiter is certainly second behind Trent Taylor. Trent Taylor is going to be the one that is the starting punt returner that makes the roster. And so you got the big three. You got Mike Thomas. You got Stanley Morgan Jr. You got Trent Taylor. That's 6 receivers. Did Lassiter, did Pryor, did either of those guys do enough to push for the 53-man roster? Pryor did have a drop tonight. Kwame Lassiter did muff a punt. Trent Taylor also had a 31-yard punt return, so he secured that job tonight. Other things that stuck out to me tonight outside of the quarterbacks and a couple of the receivers, Zach Carter had a good game. Had that sack fumble, which was really nice. Had another pressure, had another tackle. Certainly showing that he can contribute this year. And think about this rookie class for a second, the first 4 picks. All right, Cam Taylor-Britt, obviously second rounder. He's dealing, with that core muscle injury, still recovering. But the first rounder, Dax Hill, going to really help out on defense right from the jump. Zach Carter looks like he's going to have a role. Third rounder right from the jump. Fourth rounder, Cordell Volson, going to start left guard, right from the jump. So the Bengals getting significant contributions and expecting significant contributions from this rookie class. Those three guys certainly standing. And that doesn't mean the other draft picks won't. I don't mean that. But those three guys are going to be week one contributors, no doubt about it. A local product, by the way, Tegray Scales, played well tonight. Had 5 tackles, had a forced fumble. And so I think, that's a guy who's pushing for a practice squad spot. And so tonight was a big part of that here at Paycor Stadium. But let's get to the punter battle, because that's a big battle. And Drew Chrisman certainly had the leg. He had a 65-yarder. It was a touchback, so it was a net of 45. But I thought he punted the ball well in his 2 attempts. And a 42-yarder that was fair caught at the 29, and then a 65-yarder that was a touchback. And then flip it, Kevin Huber had a 43-yarder that was fair caught at the 13-yard line. So inside the 20, it's a pretty good punt, and averaged 37.5 yards per punt. So there's a big difference in the average. The net, not much different. Who knows what's going to happen between these two guys. Perfect on holding on the extra point and the 3 field goal attempts. Evan McPherson, naturally, was great tonight. Made all 3 of his field goal attempts. No long bombs for him, by the way, but certainly did what Money Mac normally does, which is make all of his attempts. Overall, look, I think this team is going to be really, really good, and it's because they're deep. I mean, there aren't many available roster spots. That's the hard part about Kwame Lassiter and Kendrick Pryor is, they might be shining out here in preseason games against backups, but is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough to dethrone a Trent Taylor? Is it going to be enough to dethrone the Mike Thomases of the world? By the way, Mike Thomas made a couple nice catches tonight as well. And I know some are low on him. He's making the team, as is Brandon Allen. But I digress. We will have a complete roster prediction breakdown before Tuesday's cut down day right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. It's going to be Tuesday at 4 p.m. is the cut down. Hopefully we'll be able to get that out to you maybe Sunday evening or so. Just really break down the roster, tell you who I think is going to make it, who I think is not, who I think is on the bubble, who could potentially make the practice squad. We'll do all of that for you right here on CBT. I'm trying to think if there's any other real, legitimate takeaways. And honestly, I don't think there are many. Look, it was preseason game number 3. Actually, there is one. And I thanked fans of Cincinnati Bengals Talk, all of our viewers in the pregame stand-up. And I want to thank you again. But first, I want to give you an idea of what it was like here at Paycor Stadium. 62,499 paid in attendance. That's insane. That is insane. And that's what we're talking about. That's the excitement that's around this team right now. And Zach Taylor complimented the crowd afterwards. He said it was electric. He was so excited to hear the crowd, see the crowd. And you know who else that's important for? These young guys. Because these young guys need to get used to playing under the lights, when the lights are bright, when things are the crowd is going crazy and things are going on. They need to get used to that. Not that they haven't done that in college. It's just different in the NFL. And so that is certainly an aid. But I do want to thank you, each and every one of you, for watching, for subscribing, for really, really diving into our 2 new shows and making sure that you pay attention to them. I mean, we've gotten great response and feedback for Bengals on the Brain every Tuesday night with Joe Goodberry on Tuesdays at 8 Eastern. And then the OT with Elise Jesse, same thing. Great feedback, great response every Thursday at 8 Eastern for what it's worth. So love that. Love that we're close to 21,000 subscribers now. We're right there. It's just a great feeling, and we're really excited for the 2022 season. We will be traveling to the road games. We'll be covering them. Maybe not every road game, but the majority of them we're going to be there, and we're going to try to be at every single one if we can. So buckle up. It's going to be a fun season. We have a ton of stuff coming for you all week long, of course, but certainly Sunday. Stay on the lookout, because I know it's weird. Sunday, will we have a video? We'll have something for you. We'll have something Monday. We're going to have you covered all week long here, because the 2022 season, it officially starts now, and we can't wait for it to give you the best Bengals coverage here on YouTube. So for Andrew Fox Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapien signing off for now. Are you surprised I didn't get hit with a football? I kind of am. But I'm signing off for now on a Saturday night where the Bengals beat the Rams 16-7 at Paycor Stadium.